Welcome to Event Radio, covering local drag racing, stock car racing, motorcycles, go-karts. If it's got wheels and you can race it, you'll hear about it here. Event Radio is motorsports radio on steroids. Now, let's join your hosts, Spivvy Williams and Terrible T Guy.
All right, guys, welcome to the next edition of Event Radio. We are at the absolute best cruise that has ever been. We are at Summer Nights Cruise in Somerset, Kentucky. We're in the middle of them moving in, and if you you need to come over here and be here early to watch this. These guys are absolutely amazing. They bring in about 2,500 cars in about 25 minutes, and it's what you call organized chaos. They got their act together. They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly who to put where and when and all that. They even had room for the old fat guy and the Suburban and the golf cart and everything right on the square where we're here to see everybody and everything that's going on. We're going to have a really fun show for you today. We're going to get to interview some really cool people, including the number one guy all last year that you requested be interviewed. The one and only Mayberry Deputy is back, and we're going to have so much fun with him. It's unreal. I got to welcome a good buddy that's going to be joining me on the golf cart today. T is still under the weather, and while he's getting his little bit of overhaul, I got my very good friend, Mr. Daryl Sky King, joining me. And Daryl is taking the weekend off. He is one of the National Hot Rod Association, the NHRA officials that works on all the national events. If you watch any TV, you'll see Daryl. You just won't know who he is. So today we get to introduce you to him, and he gets to say hi to you. And he's going to spend the whole day with me at Somerset at the coolest car show ever anywhere in the free world. Daryl, what's happening, my friend?
It's just unbelievable. All of a mixture of cars, the Corvettes, the Volkswagens, the Pro Stockers, and
yeah, they're going to do some burnouts on the square. Even this place is so cool. They do things like it ought to be done. The whole city turns over to them. We've even got John Livingston's Tennessee Thunder car here.
I know it. I'm sitting there.
Check out the two pretty girls and the Thunderbird. What about that, huh?
Unbelievable.
You want to chase the T-Bird, I guess.
Well, I don't know. They got a Louisville license plate on it. I'm a Kentucky fan. But
well, that big, yeah, I think that would really break your heart. Two good-looking blondes in a baby blue T-Bird convertible, and you don't want to chase them, you're losing your mind. You smelled too much nitro on those shutdown area. Tell us exactly, what do you do for NHRA at those national events?
Well, sometimes I work on the starting line up there and try to keep that straight. Last weekend in Atlanta, I worked on turnaround.
So if you watch the Atlanta show on TV, they would have seen you down there doing your thing, right?
Oh, yeah. We packed the parachutes and everything and put them on the wing for them, push the cars forward while they do their interviews and all that stuff.
So they're sort of glad to see you down there. Let me ask you something. When they have like a catastrophe, which they don't have many, trust me, NHRA does a great thing. But do you get involved in that stuff too?
Yeah, I was involved with Gainesville at the Gator Nationals with Dixon rollover. We was in the safety safari on the line there, and we had to go down there to that, and it was on the way down. We wasn't very happy about it, but at least he got out of it real good.
Well, I tell you what, guys like you make NHRA drag racing safe, but we're not going to do any drag racing today unless one of these golf carts wants to pair up with us. You think we can we handle them, you think?
We might.
We're going to have a lot of fun, guys. We really appreciate you joining us on Event Radio from Summer Nights Cruise in Somerset, Kentucky. This is one of my favorite events. This is your first time. You hadn't been able to come. What do you think about this? Is this amazing or what?
I can't believe it. They're lining them up on every side coming into the square here. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, you ain't seen nothing. Like the old boy said, you ain't seen nothing yet. Well, you ain't seen nothing yet.
They're very well organized. I'm telling you that.
How about a 57 Chevy pickup truck?
I see that.
You know, we're going to take a lot of pictures, guys, as many as we can possibly take to be able to flip behind this show once it gets on the archive page. But we're going to have an absolute blast from Somerset, Kentucky. We are at Summer Nights Cruise, and the fun police may get us, and we're sure the Mayberry deputy will get us before long, but we're going to hide from him as long as we can. And but he'll always show up. Lots of cool people we're going to introduce you to. Of course, Mr. Butch Patrick, one of the original cast members of the Munsters TV show, is here. The Munster cars are here. There's all kinds of stuff here, and we're planning on having a great, great day. Guys, you are at Somerset with us at the Summer Nights Cruise, the biggest and best cruise in the state of Kentucky. You're on Event Radio. We're going to say a little hi to our sponsors, and we will join you again real quick. All right, guys, we are back from Summer Nights Cruise in Somerset, Kentucky, and we have the star of the show here with us, a gentleman that when I grew up, and that's going to make you sound old, but we really won't say that, but one of my honest-to-goodness favorite shows on TV ever, The Munsters, and we have Mr. Butch Patrick with us, which played Eddie on that show. And buddy, you entertained a ton of people.
Yeah, I got very lucky to hook up with the Munsters at an 11-year-old age, and the show's just been going good for 50 years.
Well, hey, it's good. It's a good show.
Yeah.
You know, I never could get into the Addams Family. I think that was a spinoff of you guys, and I really don't know who was first, but I never got into that. The Munsters was always a cool, entertaining show.
Well, you know, the Addams Family, we were on Thursday nights. They came on Friday nights. So theoretically, we came on 24 hours before they did. But they were based on a very dark comedy cartoon series in the New Yorker. And they had very dark humor. We were very friendly. They were like, in fact, I tell people it's very easy to differentiate. We were monsters. They were monsters that looked like people. We were people that looked like monsters.
Yes, there you go. Well, evidently, you've grown out of it, sir. You look okay, you
Thank
know.
you.
But that had to be a fun show. Let me ask you one question. When you're a child star like that, does that make it tougher to go on with a acting career because they expect you to be a kid forever?
Well, the casting directors sometimes do that. Yeah, you can't get, you know, they say typecasting, but I wasn't typecast because obviously I wasn't going around Hollywood in Eddie Munster makeup and regalia. But yeah, once you're a kid actor, it is kind of tough to transition into adulthood, no doubt.
Yeah, well, Tommy Ivo's a friend of mine, and so I mean we're old drag racers and do radio just because we did drag racing, you know.
Yeah.
But he and I talked about that, and he said, after the showboat thing, he said it was really tough. He said I got some stuff, but everybody wanted me to be who I was instead of who I am.
Yeah, when I was never really an actor. I was a kid that could act. It came easy to me. I never wanted to make a career out of it. I just wanted to get enough money to buy my race cars and turn 19 years old and just do it the way I want to do it. So. Unfortunately, when I turned 19, the money that I thought I was going to have wasn't quite as much as it didn't add up to as much as I thought that would be there. I could buy my funny car, but I couldn't campaign it. So I decided not to go down that direction.
Well, I did that too. I ran an alcohol funny car for years.
Okay.
So when did you do that? I wasn't aware of that.
71, 72. At that time, I was going to the track with Jack Christman.
Okay, sure.
And hanging out at Keith Black's shop with Perdome and McEwen and all the guys. And I mean, it was really a good time to be around funny cars because the nicknames and you had Gas Ronda and Dino Don and Fast Eddie and Juggle Jim and the list is on and on and on. But it was really a good time to go into the drags.
Yeah, well, I actually had Pam on this show at the Hot Rod Reunion. We do it every year.
Oh, really?
And yeah, she's cool. But my time came in 77. I ran an alcohol car in 77, and Dale Armstrong and I were buddies.
Very good.
And matter of fact, he did the motors in my car. That's the only reason it ran good.
Yeah, well, you got to have a good motor.
Oh, you got to have a guy that knows what he's doing, not a dummy from Kentucky that ain't got a clue. You having fun doing the car show stuff?
When I purchased these cars about 5 months ago, I had done a lot of car shows with George Barris with his cars, and I'm a gearhead, so yeah, it's a good fit for me. And then the gentleman sitting in front of us built these cars as replica cars. He and I worked together. He wanted to sell them, and I said, I'll take that on, and I'll go on the road for a couple of years to not only celebrate the Munsters' 50th anniversary, but also to hook up with the cars and do more car events.
Are you amazed the amount of people that remember you and know who you are?
Well, yes, the answer to that, yes. But what's really funny is a lot of the promoters, when I come into town, they're the ones that are surprised. They go, we knew you had a draw, but we had no idea how big a draw you'd be.
Oh, listen, that show, it was just different enough to be so cool, and every young person, you'd miss date night to watch that, because it was fun. Like taking the cars to the drag strip. You all did stuff that the average public could relate to,
Yeah, it was a good time for comedy in general. The 60s were very good. You had talking horses and witches and genies and Martians and everything. Everything was really wide open, and you had a lot of great comedic talent going into television. Fred and Al were a very, very good comedy team. We had Yvonne DiCarlo, a major movie star, stepping into television to be the other half of the family unit,
Yeah.
And then you had a beautiful blonde that we thought was unfortunately ugly.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, that's the one thing you were wrong on, buddy.
No, I mean that was the whole joke of the show.
I know.
Her boyfriend's always running away, and her thinking it's her.
Yeah, well, it was. I want to thank you not only for taking a couple of minutes to be on Event Radio, but thank you for the countless hours of entertainment that you provided for me growing up, because I loved the show. When they called us and asked us to come to Summer Nights Cruise, which we do once a year, And they said that you guys are going to be here. I said, hell, I'm in, period, no matter what it takes.
Thanks so much.
This is cool, and it is my pleasure and my honor to get to meet you, sir. And thank you for just all the cool stuff.
Hey, how can you go wrong with a guy that's got a Rat Fink keychain?
Hey, buddy, we're in there. We're in there, We lived the wrong era, I think. Or maybe we lived the right era.
Well, just imagine signing up. Imagine what it was like to be an 11-year-old kid and go down to George Barris's shop once a week just to see what he was up to in the mid-'60s.
Oh, yeah. And some of those cars and the creations that he did. He was a genius.
It really was.
And I sat and watching Barrett Jackson, and I watched this guy pay $4.5 million for the Batmobile.
Rich campaign, 4.6.
Wow. Yeah. I bet he thought, this thing might bring 4,600 when I get it done. When he did it back years ago.
Yeah.
But he was a very talented gentleman, and or still is, I guess. And he controlled hot rodding a lot. And I've had the fortune of talking to several of the guys that in that era actually did radio in that era. And the radio played a real big part in the car culture.
Sure.
Because you had Wolfman Jack, you had all those guys.
The guys in those cars were listening to music.
Oh, that's all you had, buddy. You didn't have the MP3 players and the cell phones and the iPads and all that stuff. So what's Butch Patrick into for the next 4 or 5 years? This?
Well, this is one of the things I'm doing. I have a project with Roku, which is the new smart TVs and internet programming. We have a thing called scareitforward.org where we're doing public domain horror movies, giving them away. Product placement pays for them, and then I also have America's Scariest Videos, which will be another channel. It's kind of like network programming was 50 or 60 years ago, in its infancy. And I was lucky enough to hook up with a guy that's got a really good footprint in it. So we're going to be doing some programming on the Roku channel.
Well, you may be familiar with a gentleman that was my best buddy in grade school. A fellow by the name of John Carpenter.
Oh, yeah, of course.
John and I were in the same class.
Yeah.
And we were best buddies. He is from Bowling Green, Kentucky, where I am from.
Okay.
And we had a blast. And I told him, I said, buddy, the only dumb move you've made is divorcing Adrienne Barbeau, because she was a hot, hot deal.
Yeah.
But John's a nice fella, and he's a brilliant horror mind,
I've seen him at many of the shows. I do a lot of. And one of the things about the Munsters, which is interesting, is it allows me to go to car shows, to tattoo conventions. It goes to Comic Cons and horror conventions because it fits into so many different things, not to mention the collectible memorabilia world.
Oh, of course.
Let
me tell you a cute Carpenter story, and I won't bug you.
Okay.
He spent the night at my house. We would stay at each other's homes. Of course, his dad was a professor at the college, and they lived in a log cabin on the campus.
Okay.
But he came to my house, and we'd just hang out and have the biggest time. Well, when you're a kid, there's certain things that you save, and you don't know why you save it. I had saved a chocolate rabbit from Easter, and I had it in my dresser drawer. Well, John got hungry in the middle of the night, and he just got up and ate the damn head off my rabbit, Well, we had the biggest war in the world.
Yeah.
So he came back to Bowling Green to sign a book, and I hired a guy in a tux and tails with a silver tray and delivered him a rabbit on stage, a chocolate rabbit.
There you go.
The next Halloween, October 31st, I go to my mailbox. I don't know how he pulled this off. I go to my mailbox. I get a letter out addressed from him. I open the letter. Here is a Snoopy cartoon, and the only thing on the cartoon says, "I still don't forgive you over the rabbit."
That's good.
But that's John.
Yeah.
That's John. Listen, my friend, thank
you.
you for being here at Summer Nights Cruise. Thank you for entertaining the countless people that you have entertained in your life, and we don't see it stopping anytime soon.
Not at all. Thanks so much.
Thank you for being with us. Guys, we are at Summer Nights Cruise, Somerset, Kentucky. You're on Event Radio. Do not go anywhere. We will come and get you. All right, guys, we are back from Summer Nights Cruise, and I got my buddy, the head man. I'm going to call you the head man. What is your title, Mark?
Last in line, baby.
Okay. All right. Tell everybody who you are.
Mark Hansford. I'm with Summer Nights Cruise Team.
Yeah, you are Summer Nights Cruise Team, my
no,
friend.
No,
hey,
no.
I tell you what, this is such a cool joint effort. A lot of people, businesses should come over here. They could learn how to run them with you guys.
Well, we've had a lot of practice.
Well,
we've had 15 years to learn how. 100 shows.
This is number 100.
That's
buddy.
right.
You don't look 100 years old.
But a lot older, some say.
No, is that it? All
hey,
right.
I'm wearing the. I've got on a shirt here that I wore on day one back in 2001, and back then the shirt was falling off of me. And now it's
those new dryers, buddy. I have some of those,
well,
and the new dryers actually make them shrink.
Is that the way it works?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Well,
that's what happens.
I need to get one of the old-fashioned dryers, old school dryers.
Hang it out on the line is what you need to do.
Hey, we want to say thanks for Event Radio for showing up again here at Summer Nights Cruise. You guys do an awesome job. Listen to the podcast all the time. And if you want to stay informed on the car scene, there ain't nowhere to go but Event Radio.
Well, buddy, we appreciate it. And thanks to nice folks like you, you make it where we're able to come and do this. We've been very fortunate. On our archive page now, there's like 70 shows.
Yep.
And they've got some pretty cool people on them.
Absolutely.
And everybody from Gartlett's to Kenny Perry, the pro golfer, and they're all car guys. And that's what's cool. That's the bond that keeps them together.
I've always said if you're not a car guy or gal, you come to a show, come to a car cruise, a car show, any kind of automotive affair, you're going to be a car guy or gal when you leave.
Boy, that's a fact. That is a fact.
And bring the little ones, too, because we need to get
yeah.
them started in this hobby and pass it along to the next generation.
Exactly. And the thing about the car guys, they'll take the time to talk to the little guys and you got to look, if you want to see what they see, crawl around here on your knees and look at these cars, and that'll let you see their perspective. And when the big guys talk to them, that's important. That's important to those little guys.
Absolutely. If for nothing else but inspiration.
Well, Darryl came with me, and you haven't met Darryl, but he is an official with NHRA. He's on TV every week, and he was off this weekend.
I knew you were hobnobbing with stars.
Yeah, he's just my buddy.
Well,
but he's on there every week doing the NHRA shows. And Terry is having a little heart work done at the hospital, and he is upset because he thought he could gray tape his chest up and race his motorcycle Friday night after having a heart valve on Monday. But that ain't going to work. So
was he out of that 200-mile-per-hour tape?
Well, I think that's probably what it was.
Well, we miss him, and our thoughts are with him.
Oh, he's doing good. They took his computer away because he was ordering pizza in the room, and so they took that away from him. But he's doing really good.
I've heard that hospital food is terrible.
It's not real good.
Well,
it's not.
I guess it depends on the hospital, but that's all right.
Yeah, I guess it does. Well, I tell you what, everything at Somerset is not terrible. It's cool. You guys turn the whole town into Car Show Central, and all the restaurants get into it. The businesses get into it. Buddy, I think you're cool now.
Well, for 15 years, we've been fortunate enough to have the community, the city, and a lot of the local businesses behind us, and it just continues right on. 2015 is our 15th season. Today is our 100th show, and we've got some special guests here, but it wouldn't be possible without our sponsors. We appreciate each and every one of them, the businesses that put up with us here, and hopefully benefit just a little bit from the show, and of course all the car owners we couldn't have a show without. So
yeah, well, buddy, I tell you what, we go all over the country, and you won't find anybody that's ever been to Summer Nights Cruise that doesn't say it's the absolute coolest thing. One guy said that's cooler than pockets on a shirt. You know what I said? Well, okay, we agree because we got to come and we've had a ball. My friend, I know that your disc jockey job they're going to give to somebody else if you don't go back to work.
Buddy, I'll tell you what, I'm hoping they do, so I can get out here and see some of these cars. My perch right here on the square is good for a while, but I don't get to see the whole show like you riding around in this high-profile cart.
Well, I tell you what, blind hog finds an acorn every once in a while. But we've actually evaded the Mayberry deputy twice.
Oh.
And he says, don't make another lap. I'm getting you.
But
You know?
he told us that he was coming to nip it in the bud.
Well, believe it or not, last year, our interview with him at this show was voted the number one interview out of 650 interviews that we did.
I can believe
And
it.
he is just so cool. He's a lot of fun. And we're going to get him on here after a while. He has to chase Butch Patrick in the casket first. But, you know, he may have not told you all about that. I don't know.
I knew about it. I
Oh,
heard
did
about
you?
it.
Oh, okay.
He's got his squad car here, and he's got his rubber chicken
And his one bullet.
and his one bullet, and he is going to pursue Butch Patrick, our special guest, Eddie Munster, around town in the coffin car and the Dragula car, and it should be a spectacle.
Well, I tell you what, we may get out of the way. What do you think?
I would advise it.
Listen, Mark, thank you as always. Number one, thank you for inviting us to Summer Nights Cruise. It's work for us, but it is so much fun work. I can't tell you how much we enjoy it. It is our pleasure to get to come, and I just wish we could come more often.
Well, you guys are our heroes, and we appreciate you being here. Everybody out there, check us out online, somernightscruise.com. Look us up on Google. If you don't know how to spell it, just type in Summer Nights, SOMERNITES, cruise.com, and you'll check out the show, find out what we're all about, and come see us. Bring a hot rod.
Yeah, and if you can't find it on a computer, get some 5-year-old somewhere to teach you how to do it.
Any 5-year-old.
Yeah, right. Guys, we are at Summer Nights Cruise. We are having just too much fun. You're on Event Radio. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back from Summer Nights Cruise, and out of all of the cars that we have seen here, there's about 2,400 of them. Daryl and I come by, and we just stand the golf cart on its nose, and we really like the little coupe that we've seen. We're going to take some pictures of it and flip it behind this show. But we have the gentleman that owns it in the golf cart with us. What's your name, sir?
Leslie Main,
Leslie, where are you from, sir?
Williamsburg, Kentucky.
Where in the world's Williamsburg?
Down below Corbin. You know where Corbin
Well, you're getting closer. You're getting closer. Let's see. Where Corbin? Where Corbin is close to London, maybe?
Yep, just below London, yes.
Well, we keep on going. We'll be in Tennessee for long, won't we?
I'm just a few miles from the Tennessee line on that 75.
Oh, okay. All right. So we couldn't get too far lost.
No.
Tell me a little about your hot rod. I think it's just cooler than pockets on a shirt. I like it.
Yeah, it's my good buddy of mine, Johnny Hart's, wanted to help me build a frame. It's got a custom frame under it, 2x3 tubing, thick wall. Got a 400 small block Chevrolet in it, 700 R4 transmission.
You know, so many of those cars that look like the rat rods are not safe to drive. And your car, that's a comment Darryl made when we pulled in. He said, that car's a driver there.
That's a driver, yes. I had it over here last night. It's about a 100-mile round trip for me over here, and had it over here yesterday evening and then come back today. It's a good driver.
It said I've got disc brakes, got all the comforts of home. Huh?
Yep, sure has.
Well,
It don't have air on it, no.
Well, I wouldn't think so. Well, how hard is it to see red lights?
It helped when I put the holes in the visor. It helped to see the.
You can
red
look,
lights,
sort of
yeah.
look
Lay
through
down
one
a
of
little bit. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. So you've been into the hot rod hobby a long time, sir?
Yeah. I've liked these old cars about all my life. Yeah.
Made a bunch of them.
Not a bunch, but several. Yes.
Somebody always wanting it worse than you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all right. That way you get to have your habit and somebody else pay for it. See.
Yeah. Right.
That's what I always kidded those guys that run the funny cars in the drag race. And I said, guys, that's like being on drugs and somebody buying it for you.
Yeah,
you know.
that's true. Yes.
Well, listen, we actually love your car.
Thank you.
Out of, and as I said at the beginning, out of 2,400 cars that we've stopped and seen, that's about our hit of the week. We really like it.
Well, I appreciate that. I sure do. I love driving it and enjoy it all that I can. Yeah.
And all these pretty girls stopping to look at it don't hurt, does it? That's all right. You know, let me tell you something, sir. I appreciate you taking a second to be on Event Radio. We had to twist your arm to get you to do that, but we wanted to say something about your car because it is so cool. And And thank you for coming to Summer Nights Cruise. And
I appreciate it. I sure do.
So, are you going to the Redneck Rumble? Do you go to that?
Yes, I went last fall. I had plans going to the spring one and didn't get to make it. But
did you see the car that had the 4-position driving in it?
Yes, I did.
I was amazed by that thing. That had to be an engineering nightmare.
Oh, that amazed me. I couldn't see how all of it worked, but they said it did. Yeah.
Well, I watched 2 of them park it and swap out from the front seat to the back seat, just parking the thing. And, guys, we're having trouble painting this picture, but this was an old sedan of some kind that looked like the only thing holding it together was a Promise. And it had 4 steering wheels, 4 sets of pedals, 4 shifters, and you could drive it from any position in the car. And they drove it from Indianapolis down there.
Oh, my.
Down the interstate at 80 mile an hour, and they would swap drivers going down the road. And I thought, this thing had a screen door for a sunroof. It was a sled. But that had to be an engineering piece of work.
Somebody had put some thought into that for sure.
Well, I tell you what, my friend, thank you for being on Event Radio. We will actually maybe stop and see you again at the Redneck Rumble, because we go down to all of Scooter's events. We do that. We do the flat track motorcycle races for him and all that stuff down in Lebanon. And maybe you'll get to see us down there, and we'll stop.
So.
We'll let you buy lunch. How about that?
I'll do it. I sure will.
Thank you, sir, for being on Event Radio. Guys,
okay, I appreciate it.
Guys, we are at Somerset, Kentucky at Summer Nights Cruise. You're on Event Radio. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Guys, you're on Event Radio. We are back at Summer Nights Cruise, and we come to my favorite part of the show. Being an old drag race guy, I can't help it. We come and look at the nostalgia dragsters, the old Ram Chargers funny car, and we're going to take some pictures of it. But we have a gentleman that are you in the Drag Race Hall of Fame? You ought to be.
Yes, I am.
I thought you were.
Yep.
But this gentleman, probably every good-looking dragster, especially every good-looking front motor dragster you've ever seen, he probably made the body on it. Mr. Al Bergler, how are you, sir?
I'm doing just fine, thank you.
Are you having fun?
Oh, excellent.
You better be. You better be having a good time. You're up here making all the noise, bud.
Oh, you betcha. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it is. Do you have any idea how many dragster bodies you made in your career?
Oh, boy. It would have to be hundreds. And even the funny car thing.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, Logie never, when Logie did those cars, he never kept track of how many and who or whatever, and it would have been really neat if he did. Don Long kept track of every car he built and who it went to and all that kind of stuff, but Logie never did that. There's a guy in Detroit now. He's got a website. It's called the Logie Years, and he's got 1,100 people on that thing now, and people have been sending in pictures of Logie cars, and this is a Logie car, and that's a Logie car, and it's a pretty neat website.
Well, your work was the class of the field, my friend. I mean, if you had a burglar body on your car, you were a bad boy. There's no doubt about it. Is there one that stands out in your mind you liked better than any of the rest?
Oh boy,
it's good questions, buddy. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's hard. I mean,
other than your own, maybe.
Other than my own cars. I don't know. There was so many of them. I tried every car I ever did. I tried to do it like it was my own car. And,
well, you did. That's why you have the recognition and the reputation that you built all these years, because you're probably one of the few guys that a guy could take his car to and just walk out and not say a word, and when he walked back in there, he knew how cool it was going to be.
And the fun part about this whole deal is I quit professionally drag racing in 1983 and went back to building street rods and all that kind of stuff. A friend of mine, wasn't even a friend at the time, Ed Golden, found the Probe in Detroit. It was a top fuel car in Detroit. And he said, I want you to restore that car and build a body for it. And I kind of blew him off because I was working on street rods and stuff. Well, he finally talked me into doing it, and I did it. And he finished the car, and he said, well, they're doing this hot rod reunion thing in Bowling Green. He said, I want you to come down there and drive it. They do a push start like the old days.
Yeah, sure.
I said, okay, I'll try. So I drove my street rod down there, and I couldn't even get in the car. We had to take the cowl off to get in the car. So then I put all my fire suit stuff on. We did a push start down the drag strip at Bowling Green and started up and drove it to the other end, and I lost it at the other end. It was just like, oh, this is unbelievable.
Deja vu.
And I got hooked. And I've probably done 13. I've done 3 funny cars and probably 10 or 12 dragsters all named cars since been restoring the stuff in the last 15 years.
The nostalgia deal has really gotten hot as far as replica cars, and that's a cool deal because there's not everybody as old as me and got to grow up through it,
right.
And now they get to be introduced to them that they get to see them again,
Oh yeah, for sure. And
what was Al Bergler's favorite funny car? Because you had a bunch of them too.
Probably the Motown Shaker, the Vega that was flamed. I restored that car. That car was, and I hauled it around for 3 or 4 years. And there was a guy in Macon, Georgia, that came up to me at the Bowling Green, and he said he wanted to buy the car, and I told him I really didn't want to sell the car, and then finally talked me into selling it to him.
Sometimes when the checks get enough zeros on them, it makes your brain, it fogs your brain.
Oh, for sure. And that story was, I was a dragster guy. I really didn't like funny cars, but back in the early 70s, late 60s, the funny cars were getting all the bookings and all the money, and you couldn't get a booking to make $25 with a dragster.
Well, yeah, funny cars were like being on drugs and somebody buying it for you,
So Tom Prock and myself went into that funny car thing, and that first year we raced, we had 40 to 60 match races that year.
Yeah. Well, in my little short stint in it, I had an alcohol car, and we kept it booked a lot through the South, and like I said, it was like being on drugs and somebody buying it for you because we would book sometimes as many as 3 in a weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Absolutely.
And then we made the mistake of going to a national event and winning the darn thing and thought we were as good as what they were writing about.
Yeah, right.
And did the doom thing, and blew up everything but the motor in the truck and went on about our merry way.
My favorite thing on these cars is somebody will say, "What's it like to drive one of these cars?" I tell them, well, when you go to the amusement park and you ride a roller coaster and it scares the hell out of you, but you get right back in line again.
That's it. Yeah, there you go. And wish you hadn't have, and you just can't wait to do it again.
You got it, exactly.
My friend, thank you. You are one of the stars of this cruise in here, the Summer Nights Cruise. This is a big deal.
Oh, unbelievable.
This is probably the biggest cruise that we have the pleasure of going to, and we do a lot of events. We do Hot Rod Reunion, and we do all those. But this is a fun deal, and we've escaped the Mayberry deputy now about as long as we can. Is he cool or what? Has he been over giving you a ticket yet?
No, not yet.
Well, we'll work that out. I'll tell him. I'll say, this fellow over here, Al Bergler, is a criminal. You go over and get him.
Yeah, for sure.
Listen, my friend, thank you for taking a few minutes and being on Event Radio. We really appreciate it. We appreciate all the years of you putting on such a great show for the people. We appreciate your efforts in building the cars that are now legends, that you didn't know were legends when you built them the first time.
No, for sure.
And making drag racing what drag racing is. It can't go back there, but it's where it is today because of there.
Exactly.
And we want to thank you for that.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Well, we really enjoyed it. Guys, we are at Summer Nights Cruise. You're on Event Radio. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Guys, we're back from the Summer Nights Cruise, and we run into the gentleman that is the favorite interview that I have had the pleasure of doing ever. He is the one and only Mayberry deputy, and Mr. David Browning. I don't know which character we are, but I think we're the Mayberry deputy right now.
I believe so. I'll tell you, it's a jungle out here is what it is. We are just having the best time out here you've ever seen it.
Oh, I know, and you're giving tickets to everybody, daggone it.
Well, there's a lot of jaywalking going on around here.
Is that what it is?
Oh, yeah. And everybody was turning right this morning. Did you see that?
I saw that.
I don't understand that.
They didn't make a left turn one, did they?
That man over there is doing wheelies on that cart, I believe.
Yeah,
You need to nip it in the bud, buddy.
That's right.
Nut.
Well, now, I tell you what, we have worked out to get you a ride in the funny car.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Speed. We're in favor of it.
Yeah, well, we I think we can get that done, maybe. And tell us, you're going to be chasing Butch Patrick here in the casket car. Is that right?
Yeah, I hope he don't let me down.
He won't let you down,
Yeah,
not in
I'm
that.
going to run down the casket car with Eddie Munster driving. And,
yeah, we talked to him already.
Yeah, we're going to nip him in the bud.
Oh, are we?
Oh, you
For
better
sure.
believe it. That's right.
You're going to have to take care of him now.
He didn't come from a typical American family, I don't believe.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. Did you see his mama?
Yeah, I saw that. They
she
looked
need
a
to get
little strange.
son.
You think that's what it was?
Yeah, their daddy, he's what is he, 8.5 feet tall?
Something like that.
Yeah,
but
Herman.
hey, you can get him.
Oh, I'll nip it. You
Yeah.
better believe it.
Yeah.
Speed.
He can't get by you.
Oh, I'll just make my whole body a weapon. I do.
You'll
man. There
put
you
him
go.
in cell with Otis and the goat, right?
Oh yeah, Jimmy the loaded goat.
Yeah, that's what.
Old Otis looked at him. He says, "Well, Uncle Nat, what are you doing here?" Well, you're not Uncle Nat. You're a goat.
Are you been having fun, sir?
You know, I always have fun, and this Summer Nights cruise in is just absolutely one of the best, isn't it?
Well, it sure is, and this is we only get to come, I think, maybe once a year,
Yeah.
but we look forward. We try to now. We will always book it when you're here.
Well, I appreciate that. You know, today is their 100th.
That's right.
Our
Mark
show.
was in here and talking to us,
Yeah.
and he said this is the 100th show that
Hey,
they've
some
done.
people don't do anything 100
I told him he
times
didn't
in
look.
their life.
Yeah, I know, and I told him he didn't look 100 years old
No.
to me.
Now, I've pulled the trigger on this gun a few times, and maybe not 100, but a few.
But did you ever have the bullet in it?
Well, no, I just pulled the trigger.
That's what I thought. I thought that might
Andy
have
won't
been
let
it.
me put the bullet in
No,
the gun. I got it right over my heart.
That's good.
No,
That's
it's
good.
It's a 45, but when I started shining on it, it said 357.
Okay. All right. Oh, I tell you what, my friend, you are just too much fun. We always look forward to any event that has the billing of either Mr. David Browning or the Mayberry Deputy.
I sure appreciate
it. Whichever mode you're in at the most. And you also do Abraham Lincoln, right?
I do Abraham Lincoln. I did it a couple of weeks ago in a little town, Marion, Virginia. Did it for a fundraiser for a national PBS show called Song of the Mountains.
Yeah.
And really enjoyed doing it. I call it From Gettysburg to Mayberry.
Well, I tell you what, that has to be hilarious. It's got to be good.
It's fun.
You don't do any junk, sir.
Well, I try.
And we're honored always to have you on Event Radio.
Well, let me
It
tell
is
you
our
something.
pleasure.
I enjoyed it last year, and just corresponding with you back and forth, and just being a part of this is
We're
it's
trying
a true blessing
desperately.
in life.
Well, we're trying desperately to get them to book you at Hot Rod Reunion,
Ooh.
which is about 50,000 people.
Is that all?
Yeah, you
I'll
you
have
carry
to bring
enough.
some extra tickets.
Well, that's all right, but they all need ticketing.
Hey, there's one.
And
of the
I
Doobie
believe
Brothers.
this gentleman, this hat needs a ticket.
There's
What
one
do you
of the Doobie
think?
Brothers.
Yeah, is he? Is he one of the Doobie Brothers?
You one of the Doobie Brothers?
The oldest one, I understand.
And there's Abraham Lincoln gone bad right there, boy.
Yeah, boy, I'm
How you
telling
doing,
you.
buddy? Good to see you. Oh, what have you got here? What is your name? Jack. I'll just write you up, big boy.
Yeah, boy, I tell you what, our buddy, the Mayberry Deputy, they just won't leave him alone. Yep.
Uh-huh. Well, bless your heart, buddy.
We're having just too much fun, guys, with the Mayberry Deputy. If the show gets a little bit dullish here, it's because so many people are stopping him for autographs and that kind of stuff. I mean, they just won't leave him alone, you know.
Today is the 20th. Yeah, Floyd tore you up, buddy.
Boy, I tell you what, everybody wants to talk to you.
Well, it's the khaki uniform, I believe.
I thought it was the animal magnetism.
Oh, it's an animal magnetism. My mama was loaded with it.
Was she really?
Yeah, I'm just like her. Everything I eat goes to muscle.
Well, all these girls come by and say, and we're
Bless their
robbing
hearts.
you of your public, and
Yeah,
we don't
well-
want to do that.
Well, I am having a great time talking to you, and I'd rather talk. I mean, I like talking to you.
Hey, as long as you have fun, that's all that
That's
matters.
right.
I'll tell you what, this is a great event. This is a fun event. If you have never come to Summer Nights Cruise, you got to put that on your calendar, guys, because this event takes up the whole city. You can't go anywhere and not see hot rods and celebrities. And you better be careful around here because the Mayberry Deputy will write you up in a heartbeat. Trust me, he is.
Well, there's some people that think that they're above getting a ticket. And I got news for them. I'm going to write them up. I'm going to lay it on them, whether they like it or not.
That's right.
This jaywalking is rampant around here.
Well, it's just, people are just in such a hurry to see you. People are just in a hurry to see you is what it is.
I'll do it. Abraham Lincoln wants to get a picture with me.
Well, I tell you what, before...
Bless his heart.
Yeah, that's all right. Listen.
He's 250 years old.
Well, he deserves a picture after
That's right.
250 years. Listen, my friend, we're going to cut you loose because the people are just unbelievably wanting you.
And
I
nothing
can't
in the
blame
world
them.
like talking with you, buddy. I am so proud to be a part of this and to be a part of your radio show, and I appreciate it. As
Listen.
Andy used to say, I appreciate it.
Well, we are honored to have you on here anytime. The invitation is open. Anytime that you're anywhere close, please join us because we really, really, not only you're the most popular interview that we've ever done, but we enjoy having you, and you're just a prince of a guy, too, on top of that.
Thank you, and maybe we'll get to talk again here in a bit.
Well, we just might before this race is over. I don't know if you're going to catch that casket. I might worry a little bit about talking to you.
Well, if a casket outruns a squad car, then that's a fast casket.
Yeah, buddy, I tell you what, you'll be the last ride you'll ever take, right? Guys, you're on Event Radio. We're at the fun night at Summer Nights Cruise. We've had the Mayberry deputy on here. And we probably will not top that, but Lord knows we've sure got to try. We'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, we are back at Summer Nights Cruise in Somerset, Kentucky, and we come up to a car that most people, the only thing they've ever seen of it is the back of it. You know, as long as I can remember, this car, the Tennessee Thunder car, has a lot of history, and we have a gentleman with us. Tell everybody who you are.
My name is Bill Hargis from Knoxville, Tennessee.
You're down there in the good country.
Down there in the mountains, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, I believe that I came through Atlanta, Georgia about 2 weeks ago, and I believe that thing was on the turntable at Summit, wasn't it?
I'm not sure, but it probably was.
I believe it was.
Yeah, they said they were there.
Well, it was there because we stopped to go pee across the street. That's what, you know.
I've had to do that a couple of times. Just one of
well, you know, when you get our age, you sort of do that.
Those water pills, you know.
Is that what? Yeah, that's what it was. I understand. Well, tell us a little Tennessee Thunder history, will you?
Well, I was working at an auto parts store in Knoxville, Tennessee back in 1971 on Magnolia Avenue. It was called McNuttenberg's. It's no longer there. Late in the afternoon, on a Saturday afternoon, these two gentlemen came in and asked for an electric fuel pump. And I said, they said, do you have that? And I said, yeah. I said, I've got some. He said, well, I'm looking for a particular kind, an EP1 AC electric fuel pump. I said, I've got 3 of them. He said, man, I'll take all 3 of them. And I said, what in the world would you need with 3 of the biggest fuel pumps made back in that day, you know? And he just pointed out across the street, and across the street was the prettiest car I'd ever laid eyes on. Tennessee Thunder, 1971 Pro Stock Demon sitting on a trailer.
Uh-huh.
The guys were John Livingston and Gerald Livingston. They had just picked the car up in North Carolina from the Sox and Martin shop. They had brought the car down through Knoxville, heading down to a match race the next day, Sunday, in Maryville, Tennessee, at Maryville Drag Strip. And they went out and showed me the car. I went all over the car with them. It was amazing. The car was just absolutely beautiful. 426 Hemi, just factory prepared pro stock car, the best you could get in that day. And I came over and made the transaction with John and Gerald. And John said, what are you doing tomorrow? And I said, I have no big plans. He said, here. He gave me his business card. He signed it on the back. He said, admit to pits, John Livingston. I got my best friend, David Derryberry, I went to Halls High School with. He and I went down to Maryville Drag Strip the next day. We were probably, counting John and Gerald, we were probably the only 4 people in the pits that were Mopar people. Yeah. Everybody else was Camaro.
Yeah.
You know? And he had pulled a match race against Rojo, which was out of Lenore City or Loudon area, Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
It was bright yellow, 69 427 2.4 tunnel ram car.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful Camaro. And when he came off the line, that car stood straight up. I mean, it would yank the wheels 4 foot in the air.
Yeah.
And I'd seen the car run several times. I knew it was the baddest Camaro in the East Tennessee area. And I had never seen the Tennessee Thunder car because nobody had ever seen it. It was a brand new car, first run out of the. And me and my buddy got there early, got in the pits with John and Gerald. The first run came up, and these were old days. You got to remember, there was no Christmas trees. There was a
flagman.
There was a flagman that brought you up the line and stopped.
That's it.
You.
Sure.
We had a red and white stop sign hanging on a line in the middle of the track.
Uh-huh.
They put it on red. They flipped it to green, and you took off. That was drag racing.
It works for me.
Oh, it works for me now.
Yeah.
So they pulled these 2 cars up to the line, and Rojo did his burnout, and the car stood straight up on its back wheels and probably pulled a 4-foot wheelie, and the crowd went wild, just screaming and hollering, going nuts. Tennessee Thunder pulled up, and he put the water to bleach out there, and he did his burnout, and the car shuddered and shook and didn't hardly lift the wheels at all. It just kind of, and I thought, maybe this is not what I thought. And my buddy assured me, he said, just wait. Be patient. They backed up. The guy lined them up. He walked off the track. The guy flipped the light to green. The Camaro went sky high. And the Demon went out of sight. The race was over in the first 2 seconds of the race.
Another John Livingston pass.
Another John Livingston
Well,
pass.
I'm cheating a little because I've known John a lot of years.
John's fantastic. Gerald is too.
Yeah, I don't know Gerald, but I have known John, and I've often wondered if I could figure anybody out that would know how many cigars he smoked, because it had to be 1 million.
Well, I tell you what, I just happened to have something here that.
There you go.
Look what's in his mouth.
There always was, buddy.
Always a cigar.
There always was a cigar. Yeah, that would be one of the TV shows, is to guess how many cigars John Livingston has smoked in his life.
Well, you couldn't tell if it was John or Dick Landy in the car.
Oh yeah, they both did.
Both had a cigar.
That's exactly right.
But,
So
long and short of the story is it was the best 4 out of 5. First run was Livingston. Second run Livingston. Third race, they busted a transmission. I kind of thought it was all over with. And they came back in the pits, put in another 4-speed, went back out on the fourth run. They just blistered him again. So it was a 3 out of 4 run. They didn't even have to run the fifth race.
Well, that's good. You having a lot of people look at the car at Summer Nights Cruise?
This car out here is probably drawing more attention right now than anything up here.
Yeah.
This car is a legendary car. It's just absolutely phenomenal.
Well, we like it. We had to stop and look and talk to you for a few minutes.
We can't say enough about Lee Crowder and his family for bringing this car back to life. I knew the car when it was in their hands. I followed it to Barberville, Kentucky, and lost track of it when it went to Florida. And I'm so glad that Lee was able to get this thing back and put it back the way it was in 1971.
Well, I tell you what, buddy, you've got a lot of people. We've come by twice to get to talk to you, and you've had people lined up to talk to you here.
Well,
and
it's
so,
just a beautiful, beautiful car, and like I said, it's just a piece of history that it can't be duplicated.
That's exactly right. Well, listen, my friend, thank you so much for being on Event Radio. We love drag race stories. We can't help it. We love old drag race stories because we're not radio people. We're old drag racers.
Right.
So we really like that. But thank you for being on Event Radio and letting us introduce you to a bunch of folks.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Like I said, for all the Chevy and Ford guys out there, hey, guys, if it ain't a Mopar, it ain't a car.
There you go, guys. We're at Summer Nights Cruise, guys, in Somerset, Kentucky. We're having more fun than the law allows. Just don't go anywhere. You're on Event Radio, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back from Somerset, Kentucky. It's Summer Nights Cruise, and probably I'm going to be a little biased here because probably I have found my favorite car in the whole show out of about 24 or 500 of them. And it is a black Pro Street Corvette that I'm going to take a picture or two and flip behind this show. But I have the gentleman that owns that car, and we're trying to figure out how to keep him busy long enough to steal it. What is your name, sir?
My name is Bernice Whitaker.
Where are you from, Bernice?
You're in Somerset.
You're from Somerset?
Yes.
Well, I tell you what, that thing, it sounds like it might have spent its early life at Red Cornets or somewhere, because, buddy, that dude is a hard-hitting hot rod. I love it.
It's been a race car for several years.
I figured it might have been, And so a streetable race car, or is it still, you still run it a lot?
No, it's just streetable now.
Oh, okay. Well, it would pass for the race car any time. Trust me, my friend. And really, that's a hot lick right now. That's done a lot to take some of the strip cars and change them around and make them street legal. But that's got to be fun.
It's a lot of fun. Sure
It's
is. I really enjoy it.
And it's got to be more profitable than the race car.
Lots.
Got to be. Got to be. Because, probably from red light to red light, your odds of tearing it up are not near as bad as at the drag strip. So did you drag race a long time?
Yes. 25 years.
Really?
Yes.
Where mainly? Bowling Green or where?
Bristol, Rockingham, the IHRA circuit, yes.
I did a little IHRA racing back years ago. Yeah. I'm an old guy, though.
So am I.
But back in the 70s, I did a little bit of IHRA stuff.
Yeah.
Had some fun, tore up a lot of stuff and spent a world of money.
Oh, yeah, we all did that.
But I had fun,
Yeah.
So that's all that mattered. Did you run the Corvette then?
Yes.
Did you?
Uh-huh.
Ooh, I like it. You think I'm kidding you about my favorite car, but I've been a Corvette fan for lots of years, and when we finish, I'm going to give you a copy of the very first show we did, and you'll find out just how much of a Corvette fan on that. But boy, I tell you what, I'm too old, too fat, and way too ugly to have a car like that. But boy, I think that'd be just cooler than pockets on a shirt.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah.
Well, I really do, and Daryl and I see a lot of cars. I mean, this little radio show goes everywhere in the world. We're going to introduce you to a boatload of people all over. If you got any friends out there, of course, guys, if you're this gentleman's friend, we know you've probably only seen the back of this car. So we're going to give you some pictures so you know what the front of it looks like. But it's just awesome, my friend. It really is.
I appreciate you stopping by.
Well, listen, we've been trying to. Daryl can't figure out how to hotwire it. And we've kept you over here trying to keep you busy, and he's over there looking, trying to figure out some way to hotwire it and run off. But it doesn't look like we're going to make it.
You don't have to do that. We'll just start it up and go.
Oh, all right. Hey, that might be fun. Listen, my friend, thank you so much for being on Event Radio. We appreciate you taking the time. And, guys, if you come to Summer Nights Cruise or if you come to Somerset in general and you happen to pull up next to a black Corvette with some great big wide tires on the street, don't get stupid and want to run it, because this guy not only's got the hot rod, he knows how to drive it too. So don't do that. But thank you so much for being on Event Radio. We appreciate you taking your time. And see, you didn't even have to sing.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, all right. Guys, we're in Somerset, Kentucky at the Summer Nights Cruise. You're on Event Radio. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back from Summer Nights Cruise, Somerset, Kentucky. And out of all the cars in this place, we find the most unique car that not only at this event, but probably that I've ever seen. And we're going to have to take some pictures and flip this behind you. What is your name, sir?
My name is David Sherman.
David, where are you from, my friend?
I'm over London.
London, Kentucky.
London, Kentucky.
Well, that's not very far, is it?
No, not too far. 30-some miles.
This car is completely handcrafted out of wood. Is that correct?
Yeah, all the body parts. Of course, it got a regular frame under it from 1930 Model A, Model Ford.
But the whole body,
Is wood.
you have made this out of wood.
That's right.
My friend, you are craftsman extraordinaire. What in the world gave you the idea to do that?
Well, I kind of had it in my mind for years, and I've done body work on cars, paint work and everything. And I bought the old frame and was going to put a body on it. I never could come up with no parts much in the metal. So I got the nerve up to buy some plywood and had some wood at home, so I just give it a try, and that's what I wound up with.
My friend, it is gorgeous how you made the bends and all in it. To say you're a craftsman, that's cutting you short.
No, it ain't all that good, just different.
Yeah, it is all that good. Yeah, it is. You know, I guess a lot of people wax their car. You have yours termite treated, isn't it?
That's it, yeah.
Is that what you do?
And these old bees, you know, they bore holes in that wood, too.
Do the bees like it?
I guess they do. I ain't seen too many yet.
Well, now, you give a whole new meaning to the woody wagon. You know, all they had is panels, and you got the whole thing. And the thing about it, it actually looks like the A model truck. I mean, you've done it almost exact.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Yeah, it's pretty close.
Did you have a pattern, or did you just sort of go after it, or how?
Well, I kind of measured on the A model and got started, and then I kind of eyeballed a lot of it, but made the cab a little bit bigger to have a little more room. But it's pretty much on A model style. You know,
I hope you realize that's the kind of car that Jay Leno would want to buy. You know, really, you think I'm kidding? But the very unusual stuff, like what you have, is what you see in all of Leno's garage and Jay Leno's stuff.
pretty much.
Has anybody hit you up and said, "Hey, would you sell that to me"?
No, not really. They some maybe asked would I sell it or something, but they've not got on to me much to actually buy it.
Well, you probably don't want to, would you?
I could use the money, but I'd hate to let it go right now.
Yeah.
You know how a fella is with a new toy.
Well, listen, my friend, that thing right there, that's better than money in the bank.
Well,
you know. No, really, it is so unusual and so quality done.
Well,
I mean, it really is. It's awesome. Now, I don't mind telling you, it's gorgeous.
well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, shoot, I tell you what, if I could find me a date, I might want to borrow that and take a good-looking girl out, do you think?
I might loan it to you.
Well, when I was a kid, if you had a pickup truck, you couldn't get a date. You know what I mean? Them girls wouldn't go out with you. But I'm an old guy now, and they love trucks.
Well,
and I don't know why. I still can't figure that out. But young girls now just go crazy over trucks. And, buddy, I'd be a sure-enough show dog if I had that thing.
That might work.
Yeah, it would work. Listen, my friend, thank you for taking a few minutes and being on Event Radio. I really appreciate you doing that. And I absolutely love your car. I think it's just absolutely cool.
Well, I thank you very much. Appreciate that.
You be careful going back to London. Them
I'll
people
do it.
over there are a little wild now. You got to watch them.
I'll keep my eye.
You'll be able to take care of them?
Maybe.
All right, I'm sure you will.
Thank you, love.
Guys, you're on Event Radio, guys. We're from Summer Nights Cruise in London, Kentucky. Do not go, or excuse me, he's got me confused now. We're in Somerset, Kentucky. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back from Summer Nights Cruise in Somerset, Kentucky. And when we were talking to the Mayberry deputy, two real pretty ladies came in a baby blue T-Bird convertible. And leave it to the old fat guy here to chase one of them down and get to talk to her on this show. What is your name, ma'am?
I'm Becky Raymer.
Miss Raymer, where are you from?
I am from Owensboro, Kentucky.
Ooh, I know lots of people in Owensboro.
Great. Good
I don't
people.
tell anybody, but I know them. You know, I know a good friend of mine, a guy named Army Armstrong, is a very good buddy of mine and has been for years since we were kids. Of course, I was a mere child and he was old, but that has nothing to do with it. Yes. What are you doing way off here in Somerset?
We came out here for the Summer Nights Cruise In.
Isn't it cool?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
You guys have a good cruise in Owensboro, too.
Yes, we do.
And we haven't made that one yet.
Well, you need to come.
Well, we do need to come. We actually came over. There's a fellow that does some round track announcing by the name of Billy Igler. And we know him. And he did a benefit one year at Christmas at... Oh, gosh, I don't remember the restaurant, but it was for kids and toys, and we went and joined him on that.
Awesome. That's wonderful.
Most of the time, all of our stuff is south. We see when you go across the bridge,
yes,
they don't know what sweet tea is and country ham is across the river.
Oh, my gosh, that's true. That's so true.
But we, all kidding aside, we do the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame at the Science and History building there. We do that every year.
At our museum.
So I'm playing a little bit. Well, I tell you what, when you pulled in, Daryl and I were talking, and it's sort of like deja vu of being in the movie Vacation. You know what I mean? Because there's this pretty girl and this T-Bird goes flying in, and Chevy Chase goes crazy trying to find it. But the color of the T-Bird just really... see, I'd be lying to you. I'd tell you if I didn't notice a blonde in the T-Bird, I'd be lying. But I like the baby blue. I haven't seen one. I've seen red and yellow and green. And have you had that car long?
I've had it a couple of years, and the color is desert sky blue. But I call it Tiffany blue.
Okay, whatever. You know, I'm the world's worst designer type guy. I don't know anything about that, but we'll call it whatever color blue you want to call it. But let's just call it drop dead gorgeous blue. How about that?
Thank you. I love that.
Is that all right?
That's great.
Well, you're having fun. I got to be nice because your husband's standing over here and he might have a big stick, and I can't fire the golf cart up fast enough for him to keep from hitting me.
Yes.
But we appreciate you taking a minute and being on the show.
Thank you.
This little show goes all over the world, so we get to introduce you to a lot of people.
There you go.
And we appreciate you coming to Summer Nights Cruise. We hope you've had fun. By the way, you do know who's coming next at the next one, don't you?
No.
Free concert by the Beach Boys.
Seriously,
on the square in the June edition of Summer Nights Cruise. You can come over. They're actually going to play in Bowling Green, but you got to buy tickets there. But the Summer Nights Cruise June edition, the Beach Boys will be on the square for a free concert. So I figure you might make it back.
You never know. I probably could.
Well, let's hope Daddy don't take the T-Bird away, okay?
That's right. Well, when you come to Owensboro, come to the Sunset Cruisers.
Well, we will.
We would love to have you. It's the first Saturday of every month.
All right. Well, our schedule stays just a touch busy, but because we do every kind of an event with wheels, and we stay rolling quite a bit in this old golf cart. But
yes.
Actually, we do have a Suburban we pull it with. but you know, we'll try to do that. I think that would be fun. I know we will be back in Owensboro for the induction of the 2015 class of the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame.
Awesome.
We will be back there
Thank
for that.
you. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's been our pleasure.
We've loved
See,
it.
can you imagine getting paid to sit and talk to pretty girls?
No.
That's a good deal, isn't it?
That's a great deal.
I'm telling you, I love every minute of it.
Well, thank you for the compliment.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you for joining us on Event Radio. Guys, we are from Somerset, Kentucky, Summer Nights Cruise, having just more fun than any old fat guy ought to be able to have. But we're having a blast, and we will be right back. All right, guys, we had a great day at Summer Nights Cruise, Somerset, Kentucky. They're getting ready to fire up the dragsters, and we're going to load up and hit the dusty trail. But we have had fun. It's been cool, hasn't it been, Darryl?
It's been awesome. Very, very cool people, a lot of family-orientated. Can't wait till next year to come back.
Yeah, we're going to make it back up here, guys, but we've had a lot of fun. We want to thank all the guests that have been on with our buddy, the Mayberry Deputy, which he is awesome. Butch Patrick, the Eddie Munster, he was with us. Lots of cool people. Mark and the guys from Somerset, Kentucky, and Summer Nights Cruise Organization for inviting us and making it so much fun. As we always do, guys, we never end a show without thanking our sponsors because they're the most important people to us. The great guys at Beach Bend Park and Splash Lagoon, the one and only people at Quick Fuel Technologies, the maker of the best carburetors on the planet. The guys at Holly Performance, if you can't find something with all the lines that they have at Holly, trust me, you don't have a hot rod. The wonderful people at Final Finish. Anytime you want to see some really sharp paint and body work, Final Finish is where you need to go. There are no better in this country than the guys at Final Finish. Last but not least, the Gearhead Gazette. That's how we find all these. Well, he's got to rev it up a little more. I don't know what he's doing. There we go. No offense, friend, but if it didn't sound no better than that, I'd shut it off. Anyway, the great guys at Gearhead Gazette, that's how we find all these cool events to go to. GearheadGazette.com. Just go on there and you can go with us right where we are. Our buddy Barry. Hi, Barry. This guy, he's amazing. But anyway, we appreciate. Oh, boy. In this while, he had never heard that thing run before, I guess. We appreciate you being with us, joining us for the Summer Nights Cruise edition of Event Radio. We have had a lot of fun. If you've enjoyed what you heard, please tell a friend. If not, keep it to yourself. We'll talk again, guys.
You've been listening to Event Radio, covering local drag racing, stock car racing, motorcycles, go-karts. If it's got wheels and you can race it, you heard about it here. Event Radio is motorsports radio on steroids. Join us next time with your hosts, Spivey Williams and Terrible T Guy.